Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do your valve cover gaskets and your intake manifold gaskets on your 2002 to 2010 Explorer or Mountaineer. This process is pretty similar for the Ranger or the Mustang, other than the intake manifold's a little bit different. But if you have a 2006 and newer, actually 2004 and newer, you don't have to deal with the stupid throttle cables, so it'll make your life a little bit easier. But follow these directions and we're going to get it done. I'm so sick of oil leaking down the side of the block and leaving a stain on the driveway. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is disconnect our battery. Always the negative first and then the positive. Now we'll come up here to our air intake, another 8mm or 5/16. I can pop these vacuum hoses off of it. I'm going to unplug my MAF sensor over here. Then the two clips for the air box. Undo this vacuum hose, go into the valve cover over here. And we'll get our intake out. Now I'm going to lift up on this box over here, get the box out of the way. It gives me a little bit more room. Alright, once we have the box out, we have four 8mm screws to remove our throttle body. Now, on the 2006 to 2010 Explorers, you might have a 10mm holding your harness on this top left one. We can unplug our throttle position sensor. And if you have a 2006 to 10, you're going to have a connector on the front here. But in my case, I don't, but I have to undo the throttle cables off the butterfly. Good. Okay, now before we get too far ahead of ourselves, down there is our EGR tube that connects to the exhaust manifold. You're going to have to find a friend with a torch, buy a torch, rent a torch. You need some sort of heat. That is easily one of the toughest things I've ever had to undo on Explorers. That's why sometimes I'll actually recommend cutting the pipe, and then you could get a little coupler. I'll leave a link in the description below of these little couplers that you can get. But to do it the right way, it's a 27mm. Start working on that before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Alright, now on this EGR sensor, I have a plug here. If you have a newer Explorer, your plug is going to be on your EGR valve. But then we have another 27mm right here behind the throttle body. We got to undo that. Alright, now as you can see, once we have this undone behind the throttle body, you're going to have to pull this EGR tube out and you're going to have to spin it like that so the valve cover can clear. That's why it's imperative that we get that nut at the bottom loosened, or again, you could just cut it. So we have this out of the way. Good. Now I'm going to start working on my throttle body connections here, which some of you probably won't have to deal with. I just take some water pump pliers, squeeze these tabs, push them backwards. And now I can unclip it from the intake itself, and I kind of curl it out of the way. We can unplug this vacuum line over here, unplug our idle air control valve. Good. Undo this vacuum line to the EGR. Good. We're going to undo this vacuum line to the fuel pressure regulator up front. And then we have two vacuum lines here on the intake manifold. They just pull off. And then you have one vacuum line that goes down to your EVAP solenoid. Undo that. And this thing's pretty basically free. Now, we have one connection here on the top of the intake manifold. If you have an 06 to 10 Explorer, they make it super simple. Don't pull the clip out. You're going to push the white part of the clip in and lift up. If you pull it out, you're going to destroy the clip. So push in and pull up on the newer units. On the older one here, it's just a clamp. Okay, so now our EVAP lines that connected to the intake manifold, down here you can pull the hoses through. There's one. You have this PCV valve hose on the back of the valve cover we have to undo. If you have a newer Explorer, it's a clip. You push the clip and pull back. And last but not least, on the back of the intake manifold, mine broke off. You have this little purge valve. There's an electrical connection you have to unplug, and then you have to undo these vacuum lines. It's good for demonstration purposes that mine's broken, because you can see what I'm talking about. And then once that's disconnected, we can pull our vacuum lines out of the way. Alright, so once we have basically everything off the intake manifold disconnected, this comes to be the most daunting part for some people. Getting the manifold off without stripping out the T30s. Now there are 8 of them. I use a 6-inch extension with a weeble wobble and a T30 on the end. Now honestly, the way to do this is to use hand tools. And after each one, give it a little tap and make sure that T30 is down there all the way. Now, thankfully in the back here, you can see absolutely nothing, so you really got to get your feelers going. You can do. Now with a little bit of persuasion, this thing should come right off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, whoa. Okay. Cool. Not terrible. Not the best, but not terrible. All right. Now over here on the back of the motor, we can undo the rest of our PCV hose. You're gonna have one connection up here on top of the valve cover for your cam sensor. We're gonna lift up on the clip. It's like a little staple, it looks like. Pull it out. Now our coil pack I'm gonna undo to get it forward so we can clear the driver's side valve cover. 4 7mm bolts. Got our plug on the back side with the broken clip, as always, good. All right, see, now we can clear the driver's side valve cover. Cool. It's probably gonna be easier if we just remove our fuel injector harness. So we just undo like that, lift it off of the stud for the valve cover. See, look at that, look how much more space we have now. Same thing goes for this side. I'm gonna undo this harness as well. 1, 2, 3, clip, cool, move that forward. Awesome. All right, yeah, look at that, leave those in the valve. Sweet, a lot of space now. Alrighty. So you don't have to, but on the side of the motor here, there's a 15mm and a 10mm bolt. I'm gonna undo those just to loosen this heater core pipe bracket, and then it'll give us a little bit more room when we try to remove the valve cover here. So it's a 15 and a 10. I'm gonna remove those and then we can move it. All right, we are gonna have to disconnect our fuel line, so if you just drove your vehicle, fuel is gonna spray out. You gotta give it some time. If you have an older Explorer, it's a 5/8 fuel disconnect tool. If you have a newer Explorer, it's a 3/8 fuel disconnect tool. Wear your goggles and watch your eyes. Wow, guys, that's a lot. It's getting all over me. Okay, all right. You know what, all right. All right, and then the little bracket holding the fuel line on is a 7mm. I mean, I really underestimated the amount of fuel that was gonna come out of there. Wowzers. Okay. All right, now all around both valve covers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts on each side. Specifically, the back is like Christmas morning for me, because now you get to the crossroads of, are you pulling the motor to do a timing chain job when you see that the rear cassette is bye-bye? I know this motor's fine because I rebuilt it. I was hoping one of them would be stripped out. That's good. All right, with all the bolts removed and our heater pipe loosened, let's see how difficult it is to get this out of the way, huh? Oh God. Tell you what, you see these YouTube channels and everything goes smoothly. I really ride the struggle bus sometimes for you guys, but I know you appreciate it. So that's why I don't mind riding the struggle bus. 2 tickets to paradise. Come on, bastard. All right. Wow, okay. How we doing back here, girl? Nice. All right, so almost 70,000 miles since I've rebuilt this motor, and I'll tell you what, everything is squeaky clean. Looks great. I've been running that Valvoline Restore and Protect. Very happy with it. Just for demonstrations, guys, I get this question a lot. They see this, slack, 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 and they think it's broken. But that's not the case. It's because where the engine stopped, the tensioner is compressed in all the way, you get that slack, and it goes away when the oil pressure comes back. So if you guys see that, a little bit of slack like this, that's totally normal. But if you see this cassette is totally missing, well, I'm sorry to say, but you need a timing chain job. All right, so with the difficult part removed, now we can go on to the easy side. And now another question I get, people always ask me, why is this side always dirtier than this side? And the answer is because the PCV valve is on this side. So you're gonna get those combustion gases coming to the top of the driver's side valve cover, and it's gonna varnish your cam a little bit more than it will on your passenger side, but that's totally normal. All right, so everything looks amazing. At this time, I'm gonna skip forward in the footage. I am going to clean everything. All of the mating surface, brake clean, rags, plastic scraper, get everything nice and clean because we don't want our new gaskets leaking because we skipped the most important process of prepping the surfaces. All right, so I got all of the mating surfaces nice and clean. All I used was a plastic scraper, some brake clean, some rags. Clean it up real good. Now, I'm not gonna go through the process of putting a new valve cover gasket inside of a valve cover because if you're skilled enough to get this far, you can do that without my help. So, I'm gonna start working on putting the truck back together. And I'll talk as I'm doing this. Another thing, I use Fel-Pro gaskets, Victor Reigns, or Mal. The cheap gaskets will leak. And at the end of the day, the bitterness of a leaking gasket outlasts far longer than the sweetness of a cheap price. Okay, double check, make sure it didn't pop out. Looks good. The torque spec on these valve covers is 89 inch-pounds. You do not want to crank down on them because you'll smush the gasket and then you have a leak. 89 inch-pounds, if you're not using a torque wrench, just go nice and snug. Don't really crank it down. All right, and on to the other side, we got our new gasket prepped. We're gonna set it down into place. And at this time, it'd be a very good opportunity to inspect, clean, or preferably replace your PCV valve while you have access to it. A lot of people forget about that. They should be cleaned or inspected every 30,000 miles. And again, we're gonna get some bolts started, an 89 inch-pounds in a cross pattern. All right, now that we got our valve covers on and torqued down to 89 inch-pounds, let's go ahead and put our harness back. Plug in our fuel injectors. Plug in our cam sensor right here. We got this other stuff. Back of the motor here, our fuel line. Our 7mm back in. Click. Retaining clip. Good. Side of the motor here, if you remove this pipe, we got our 15mm and our 10mm bolts we got to put back in. Got our intake manifold here. I cleaned out the oil in the groove so the O-ring doesn't pop out as we're trying to get the intake manifold aligned. All right, now let's plop down our intake manifold. Make sure all our gaskets are fully engaged. Gotta be super careful so they don't fall out. Awesome. All right, same thing in a cross pattern, 89 inch-pounds. If you don't have the torque wrench, nice and snug. Now, I have my broken purge valve that I can take. Got my connector here, I'm gonna plug that in. Got some vacuum lines we can plug in. Got the one to the EGR here. We can plug in our idle air control valve. We have some hoses from before that we have to take care of. We got the one for the purge valve. Now we can take our hose from our PCV, push it over our PCV valve. Good. And push it over our intake manifold. Perfect. Now we have this vacuum line here that slips over. Good. This one from the brake booster. Good. And we have our little vacuum hose we need to plug in. So earlier I completely took off my EGR pipe. At this time I'm going to get that back on now before we put our throttle body on. Now we can put our throttle body on. We can plug in this connection here. Perfect. Again, nice and snug. Good. Good. Plug in our TPS. We have this vacuum line here that goes into the cab for the old school people. Our cruise control, our throttle. All right, now we can plug in our coil pack and put our 4 7mm screws back in. Don't forget to put back your little radio frequency deterrent thingy. We have our air box and air snorkel tube thingy. box. This would be a good time to check your air filter. Plugged in, good. Double check everything, good. Put that on, good. Valve cover, good. MAF sensor. Plugged in, good. Plugged in, good. Done. Tight, done. Sweet. And our battery. All right, so now we have everything back together. Because we had the fuel lines disconnected, we're gonna cycle the key a couple times, let the fuel pump prime the engine, double checking everything. Everything looks good. This really didn't take that long to do. Let's give it a go, see what she does. I know I need a power steering pump, thank you. Woo! We got some cleaners burning off, huh? No fuel leaks. Idling nice. All right, well, I mean, feels good, it's driving good. It's not on fire. And this seems to be the first painless project I've had in a while for the channel. So I hope this tutorial helped some of you. If it did, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for 20K, that's friggin' awesome. And stay tuned for the next video, guys. Peace.